Well, Canadians and Americans have many similarities, and most of us in Canada have family in the U.S. because the families came over from wherever, and some went to Canada, some went to the U.S. So in a way, we're very similar. In a way, we're quite different. We live in a big, harsh, cold climate, and our ancestors knew that if we didn't share, we wouldn't survive. So we invested more faith in our governments and collective notions and social programs and East-West links than Americans. I always say that our founding motto or kind of ethos is sharing for survival, whereas in the U.S. it's more survival of the fittest. And your founding principles, life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Ours is peace, order, and good government, which is kind of boring in comparison. So we have a different kind of model. And sometimes I do a lot of work here in the U.S., but when I come here, sometimes I'm stunned by the belief that everything's about the market and about even the environment's about entrepreneurship, green entrepreneurship, right? As if that'll somehow save everything. And I was at a water conference in Lubbock, Texas, a couple of years ago, and you know, nobody would. I mean, they said they put up this great big billboard or this big PowerPoint at the first day and just showed how the demand for water in Texas is going right up and that the water supply is going right down, and this is a crisis, and what are we going to do? They're tearing their hair out. And I said to them, well, you've got a private system here, and the big users, you know, can buy their way out of everything. You've got T. Boone Pickens, as if he isn't rich enough, going around buying up aquifers, water rights, and sitting on them, right? Why don't you say no to that? Why don't you limit the amount of water any one person or corporation can own? Oh, well, that would go against, you know, capitalism and entrepreneurship and the market, and they hate government, and they don't trust the government could ever do anything right. So we kind of struggled for 2 days, and at the end of the second day I said, well, I don't think I convinced you, but on the other hand, you didn't answer the question you put up yesterday morning, which was that X, you know, demand and supply. A lot of people came up to me and said, you really made me think, you know, you really made me think that maybe we've got to start looking differently. So that was a real clash of two different kinds of thought processes, you know. But I have fun in the U.S. I was on a call-in show not long ago, and this guy called in. He said, you're a bleeding heart liberal. And I said, hey, I'm a Canadian. I don't know what that means, you know. So we had some good fun with it. Oh, heavens, you guys don't know anything about us. I tell you, we could blow up there, and I don't know. I don't think it would get first page on the New York Times or anywhere. It's funny when I've been doing this book tour here. People at home say, well, you've been reading about such and such. And I say, of course I haven't, unless I go online. There's no news about Canada here. It's just, you know, we know everything. I mean, I was in Hollywood, or I was in Los Angeles for the first time a couple of weeks ago, and every single street, Vine and all, I mean, I know them. This is part of our culture in Canada too, because all of your networks, all of your magazines, all of your movies come here. I know everything about New York. I know about the St. Patrick's Day Parade. You know, I know everything is famous in Canada. Most Americans know just about that about us. And, you know, we kind of laugh about it. We kind of, you know, feel a little inferior sometimes and unloved and all of that. But it's an interesting phenomenon. You know, the U.S. is the big guy on the block, and most Americans don't have to know anything about us except we're where the cold air comes from.